I've been a film critic for a fair few years now, and when I tell people that, they'll often say, what's your favourite film? In this video, I'm going to take it that step further and tell you my favourite films for every year that I've been born. Yeah, this could be a long video, but bear with me. If you're a film buff, maybe there'll be a few little hidden gems in this list, something that you might want to check out yourself. Anyway, to reveal my age, let's start with 1983. Return of the Jedi sees Luke Skywalker in an epic final showdown with his dad, Darth Vader. Spoiler alert. Yeah, I was introduced to this film at a very young age. I remember my jaw just dropping throughout. It was a huge spectacle, a lot of fun. I'd not really seen anything else like it. I just loved it.
Your feeble skills are no match for the power of the dark side.
In my opinion, Ghostbusters is Bill Murray's movie. He steals the show in every scene he's in, and considering one of those scenes sees a 100-foot marshmallow man, that takes some doing. Now, I was recently in New York, and I tell you what, I loved it even more because of the Ghostbuster film. I saw Ladder 8, the library, the skyscraper near Central Park. Just walking around the city, I felt like I was on a Ghostbusters tour. I loved it. Now, I would like to just stress, this list is not what I consider to be the best films ever made. These are just my personal favourites. If someone said to me, oh, what film should I watch? I'd never say, oh, I love this, so you'll love it too. I always ask, what's your favourite film? What kind of films are you into? And then try and pick a film based on their tastes. I'm just getting that out there. Now, when someone says to me, what is your favourite film? Depending on my mood, I will say one of two films. One of those films is Back to the Future, and the other is a little bit more, let's say, heavy. I'll reveal what that film is shortly. But yeah, Back to the Future, great film. It doesn't rely on special effects, and it doesn't need to, because the script is so well written. Now, I actually had the pleasure of meeting Michael J. Fox at the London Comic Con, and oh my God, what an experience. The photo is awful. We look like we have some kind of weird skin condition. I don't know what's going on with the picture quality, but it was just amazing. I loved being that close to the guy in a non-stalker kind of way, I promise.
Hey, Doc, we better back up. We don't have enough road to get up to 88.
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.
1986 was all about the babe. What babe? The babe with the power. What power? The power of voodoo. Hoodoo, you do what? Remind me of the babe. One take. Boom. Labyrinth is a real masterpiece of puppetry, and as a kid, one of my favourite films.
In 9 hours and 23 minutes, you'll be mine.
The first act to Full Metal Jacket, oh my God, flawless. The second and third act, not so much, but that's just because the first 40 minutes was so freaking good. And it also features one of my best improvised scenes in cinema history. Not the best, I'll go into that one a little bit later, but definitely one of the best. That drill sergeant scene, yep, off the cuff. Director Penny Marshall did an incredible job with Big. As for Tom Hanks, he showed us that it's okay to be a big kid. He also showed us what to do when we're faced with a giant piano. We play it, obviously. When Harry Met Sally is, without a doubt, my favourite rom-com. I nearly said chick flick. I don't think we're allowed to say that anymore. I don't know. But yeah, the chemistry between Meg Ryan and Billy Crystal, it just makes this film what it is. Oh my God, talk about relationship goals.
Oh God. Oh.
I'll have what she's having.
With Goodfellas being one of my top 5 films of all time, I cannot wait for The Irishman release later this year, which reunites Scorsese with quite a lot of the cast from Goodfellas. Now, remember earlier when I told you that one of the best improvised scenes came from Full Metal Jacket? Well, this film has the best improvised scene. I'm talking about this moment here.
Really funny. Really funny. What do you mean I'm funny? It's funny, you know. It's a good story. It's funny. You're a funny guy. What do you mean? You mean the way I talk? What? It's just, you know, you're just funny. It's funny, you know, the way you tell the story and everything. Funny how? I mean, what's funny about it?
Tommy, no, you got it all wrong.
Oh, Anthony. He's a big boy. He knows what he said. What'd you say?
You're right.
Funny how? What? Just, you know, you're funny. You mean, so? Let me understand this, because you know, maybe it's me, I'm a little f***ed up, maybe. But I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you. I make you laugh. I'm here to fucking amuse you. What do you mean funny? Funny how? How am I funny?
Could Terminator 2 Judgment Day be the best action film ever made? In my opinion, it very well could be. The action, it doesn't stop. It is one amazing set piece right after another. Yep, another mainstream movie. I promise you there's some more obscure ones later in the list. But anyway, did you know that Wayne's World started as an SNL sketch? It is such a goofy, stupid comedy, but do you know what? Sometimes that is exactly what I'm in the mood for. Jurassic Park will always hold a place in my heart. This was the first film that made me passionate about a subject. When I watched it as a kid, I wanted to know all of the dinosaurs, what they were called, what they did, what they looked like, what they ate. It made me want to learn for the first time in my life. And remember earlier when I said that Terminator 2 could be the best action film ever made? Well, I think Jurassic Park could have the best singular action sequence ever made. That T-Rex scene, oh my god, the choreography is just amazing. Throughout that whole entire scene, my jaw was dropped. Earlier, I told you that Back to the Future was one of my favourite films ever made. Now, depending on what mood I'm in, I may also say that The Shawshank Redemption is my favourite film. A bit cliche, I know, it's so many people's favourite, but that's for a good reason. Now, Robbins and Freeman, their chemistry is absolutely fantastic, and this film, it just teaches us to never give up hope.
I guess it comes down to a simple choice, really. Get busy living, or get busy dying.
Toy Story was an instant classic. Buzz and Woody, they are so relatable, apart from the whole cowboy and spaceman thing. I'm sure at some point we have all felt like a fish out of water, and also felt like someone has come into our lives and trying to change everything. It just works. It's a great film. If you've done the math, you've probably worked out that when Scream was first released, I wasn't old enough to watch it. But I did. Okay, we'll keep that between us. Don't tell my mum, please. But yeah, Scream, absolutely loved it. And it really created this love for teen horror movies. And I'm sure I'm not alone on that one. My favourite film in 1997 was Batman and Robin. And I'm kidding. It was as good as it gets. Now, this film is just as much heartbreaking as it is humorous. And also Jack Nicholson, his character, are we supposed to love him? Are we supposed to hate him? It's a bit of both. And I think that comes down to some great acting and some great writing. We accept the reality of the world of which we are presented. Oh my god, what a line. And what a film as well. This made me so paranoid after watching it. And just in case there are millions of people secretly watching me, I would just like to apologise to you guys for being so freaking boring. But anyway, The Truman Show. A great film and so much ahead of its time as well. Remember, this was way before the days of Big Brother.
What if?
No scripts, no cue cards.
Morning, Spencer. How's it going?
What if you were watched every moment of your life?
How many cameras you got there in that town?
5,000.
I believe Truman is the first child to have been legally adopted by a corporation.
That's correct.
Brilliant.
What if everyone you knew was pretending?
Hi, honey. Look what I got at the checkout. Dishwasher safe.
That's amazing.
When I first saw The Green Mile, I was actually working at a cinema at the time, and my boss came up to me and he said, it's a bit quiet, do you want to clock out for a while, maybe watch a film, return to work later? And to be honest, I wasn't in the mood to work for quite a while later, so I looked at what films were on, I simply chose the longest film showing, and that film happened to be The Green Mile. I knew nothing about it, I had zero expectations, but within minutes of it starting, oh my god, I was captivated. What a film. So powerful. I love a good soundtrack, and I love a good coming-of-age movie. Cue Almost Famous. Actually, do you know what? I feel bad for just saying a good soundtrack. This is the best soundtrack I have ever heard in a film, which, by the way, is about a young journalist who goes on the road with an up-and-coming rock band. Great film, like I said, great music. Definitely get the soundtrack.
And then tickets I forgot. Turning back, she just laughs. The boulevard is not that bad.
Moulin Rouge seems to be a bit like Marmite. People either love it or they hate it. I remember on 2 separate occasions I tried to watch it with friends, and within a couple of minutes of it being on, they both said, "What is this? What are you making us watch?" It wasn't for them, but me, I loved it. The musical numbers are fantastic, and if you can just switch off your brain and go with it, it's a lot of fun. Catch Me If You Can is the ultimate game of TIG, or tag, for my American friends. Spielberg, he did an amazing job as director, and Tom Hanks and Leonardo DiCaprio, their chemistry was fantastic in a film about a young con man who is being chased by the FBI, and a true story, by the way. Lost in Translation is another one of those films that isn't for everyone. Again, I tried watching this with a friend and he said to me after the movie, not much really happens, which wound me up, to be honest, because there is a lot happening here. It may be subtle, but it's certainly there. And Bill Murray and Scarlett Johansson, their chemistry is fantastic in this film about two lost souls that found each other when they needed each other the most.
No one like me. I'm special, so special. I gotta have some of your attention. Give it to me.
And now for something a little sillier. Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy. Oh my god, there are so many one-liners in this film. The jokes don't always work, but that's okay, because the moment a joke falls flat, literally seconds later, we're given a joke that does work. And this is the perfect film to watch with friends as well, especially if they like to have a bit of a natter during the film, which I hate, by the way, but whatever. And the reason this is so good to watch with friends is because you can kind of weave in and out of the film. There's not really too much of a story to follow. It's just a fun ride. If, of course, you like goofy comedies.
Now, before we do this, let's go over the ground rules. Rule number 1. No touching of the hair or face.
Of course.
And that's it! Now let's do this! Begin!
Batman Begins felt like a breath of fresh air. They can't make a dark superhero film, can they? Yes, they can, and it was brilliant. Now, Nolan did a fantastic job as director. The first half of this film, he does an amazing job in setting up the backstory in a way that we haven't seen a million times before. And as for the second half, it is just a full-on action spectacle. Little Miss Sunshine is another one of those sweet and funny road trip movies focusing around a dysfunctional family. And the whole dysfunctional family thing, yeah, I can relate to that. I'm sure many of us can, and that's one of the things that makes this film so good. 2007 for me was all about Juno. Yes, another coming-of-age movie. I'm sorry, I love them. Now, on paper, this may look like a watered-down version of Knocked Up, but it's not. It is so much more. This is a real, powerful, character-driven movie. In my opinion, which is something I've said many times, it's for the internet trolls. You can disagree, that's fine. This is just my opinion. I think The Dark Knight could be one of the best superhero films ever made. Now, they say that your film is only as good as its villain. And with this, oh my god, the Joker, what a villain. Heath Ledger, he was taken from us way too soon, but I tell you what a legacy he has left behind.
Well, hello, beautiful. You must be Harvey's squeeze.
And you are beautiful.
Well, you look nervous. Is it the scars? You want to know how I got them? Come here. Hey. Look at me. So I had a wife. She was beautiful. Like you. Who tells me I worry too much? Who tells me I ought to smile more? Who gambles and gets in deep with the sharks? Hey. One day they carve her face. We have no money for surgeries. She can't take it. I just want to see her smile again. I just want her to know that I don't care about the scars. So, I stick a razor in my mouth and do this to myself. And you know what? She can't stand the sight of me. She leaves. Now I see the funny side. Now I'm always smiling. A little fight in you. I like that.
I knew nothing about The Hangover before going to see it. I was simply in the mood for a comedy at the time. So I went in with no expectations, and to be honest, I was not expecting it to be quite as good as it was. It's very funny, and surprisingly, it's very gripping. I genuinely really wanted to know what had happened to their friends, and I really enjoyed trying to work it out as well. Inception is a bit like The Matrix meets James Bond, and with Nolan behind the camera, what could go wrong? I love this film. I was gripped throughout. Okay, you could look at a list of films made in 2011 and argue that there are so much better films than Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, but do you know what? I just really enjoyed this film. It was a lot of fun. I love the fact that Tom Cruise, he does his own stunts as well. It adds a whole new dynamic to the film. And that reminds me, by the way, I did do a video a while back on stunts that could have actually killed Tom Cruise. If you want to watch that, it's on the channel. Check it out. But yeah, Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, it's a lot of fun. There's just the right mix of comedy, action, and it doesn't take itself too seriously. I like that.
Okay, now remember, blue is glue.
And when it's red?
Dead.
You're not gonna make it!
You're not helping.
Argo is the movie that made me really appreciate Ben Affleck. I was never a fan of him, but then I saw this, and not only was he a great actor in it, but the film is amazing and he directed it as well. So, Affleck, fair plays to you, mate. You won me over. I highly recommend this film if you've not seen it already. The Wolf of Wall Street is very different to Scorsese's other films. I wasn't really sure he was going to pull it off, but I was wrong. What was I thinking, doubting the legend that is Scorsese? This is such a good film. The comedy is quite dark. It's a little risque at times, but it's great. It really is. It's a true story. It's worth checking out. And I tell you what, it did not feel like 3 hours. It went so quick. I almost didn't see Whiplash. I've never really had an interest in drums, so I thought, how good could a film about a drummer be? It turns out really, really good. For me, J.K. Simmons, he makes this film what it is. He was worthy of all the awards he won for it. A great film, and it actually has one of the best endings to a film I have ever seen. Whiplash, check it out.
Why do you suppose I just hurled a chair at your head, Neiman?
I don't know.
Sure you do.
The tempo?
Were you rushing or were you dragging?
I don't know.
Start counting.
5, 6, 7.
In 4, damn it! Look at me!
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3.
Now, was I rushing or was I dragging?
I don't know.
Count again.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Rushing or dragging?
Rushing.
So you do know the difference!
When will I ever learn? I'm always walking into an animated film thinking, I'm not really going to enjoy this, it's just a cartoon, and yet quite often these films blow me away. That was certainly the case with Inside Out. This film had everything you come to expect from a Pixar movie. A lot of laughs, a lot of heart, I may have cried a bit, and a lot of great fun adventure as well. Sing Street almost completely missed my radar. I'd heard about it a couple of times, but it wasn't being shown in any of my local cinemas. But what I had heard about it was really good, so I was determined to see it, and I ended up doing so at a smaller arty cinema somewhere near London. And I'm so glad I went to see this film. The 80s nostalgia, the soundtrack, it's absolutely fantastic. And it features songs that actually I still have on my playlist today.
Not exactly the Beatles, is it?
The Big Sick is another film that wasn't shown at my local cinema. Seriously guys, what's going on? I fear we are just years away from the smaller indie films just not being released at all. Let's hope that doesn't happen. But yeah, I'm so glad I saw this film. I had to wait to watch it on DVD, but it was worth the wait. I love this film simply because I loved the characters. And finally, my favourite film of 2018 was, and yeah, I didn't see this coming either, Bumblebee. I have hated the more recent Transformer films, and the only reason I saw Bumblebee is because I wanted to review it for you guys. And I thank you because I'm so glad I went to see it. This is so different to the other Transformer films out there. It's very character driven whilst also having the action. Don't worry, that's still there. But yeah, it has a real 80s kind of Spielberg feel to it. Think E.T., but with robots. I laughed, I cried, I was just amazed by the whole thing throughout. Definitely worth watching. Now, let's look at 2019. What is my favourite film going to be this year? If I was to take a guess, I have no idea, to be honest. In recent years, my favourite films have been ones that, one, I almost didn't watch at all, or two, I thought were going to be really bad but blew me away. And I have a feeling that may be the case for 2019 as well. I don't know, we'll see. Anyway guys, this was a longer video than my usual material, so if you have stuck with me to the very end, honestly that means more to me than you know. You guys are the people that I make these videos for, and I love doing it. So does Ro, and speaking of Ro, he has also made a video on his favourite games throughout his life as well. That video is available to watch right now, so check it out. In the meantime, please subscribe, let me know what your favourite films are in the comments below, and I will say this as well, I did give brief descriptions of some of the films, only because I knew how long this video was going to be. Otherwise, if you would like a more in-depth conversation on some of the films I've mentioned, again, comment below, I'd love to hear from you, I'd love to have a conversation. Guys, I'll see you next time, bye bye.